Farm-raised premium black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool, but they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo.
You see my kid?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Covington Christian High School as we're set to bring you tonight's high school game of the week right here on IndianaSRN. The Warriors of Covington Christian coming in at 1-1. They'll be taking on the Trojans of Covington High School. They come in at 3-1 on the year. Tonight's game brought to you in part by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. Also by the Morales Group. Building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and the community since 1955. Great to have you with us. Troy Derengowski along with Craig Cox. It's a night of high school basketball here on IndianaSRN. And Coach, as we mentioned a little bit ago, this is a Warrior basketball team. They're 1-1 on the season, and a Covington team who played in the tournament over in Illinois. They come in at 3-1. You mentioned to me before we started the broadcast, there's a lot of new faces and a lot of players that, from a scoring standpoint, are no longer with these two teams.
No, it is. I mean, each week I think we're in a program of trying to, and especially this early, learning new identities of teams. Obviously, a lot of kids in new roles, if you will, that's being called upon to do some different things maybe than last year. And so, but you got two programs that really have a lot of parallels. They're two smaller schools that with Covington being a 1A and Covenant being the 2A, but I think that they're in a positions that were where the parallels are as far as they're rich in traditions. I was blessed a few years back to be able to go to a Covington game. It's almost like they shut the town down for these. But in for an exciting night here off of Girls School Road.
Well, they may have lost some players, but both teams also have a lot of key players coming back. Let's start with Covington on our scouting report. You look at a team that, again, they're 3-1. Coach Morgan in his second year, he's 19-8 in the 2 years, and they lost to this Covenant team last year, 58-54. But he's got about 3 guys in double figures right now and about 5 guys that have been a real key early here in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 of them in Keller, Ferguson, and Stein that really carry a bulk of their scoring. If I'm not mistaken, like 46 of their 58 points per game out of the 4 that they've played. But I think a lot of times, anytime you can have 3 guys at the high school level that are in double digits, you're faring pretty well. But you still got to have a good supporting cast that, you have 4 or 5 guys getting you 6 or 8 as well. But yeah, Coach Coach Morgan's done a good job in his second year, and was off to a great start last year, and as well as starting this season off.
Well, you talk about a team that can shoot pretty well. They've done that in their first 4 games. They're at about 47% field goal percentage, and a team that likes to shoot the three, which is pretty impressive at 40%. So we may see quite a few three-pointers tonight from them.
Yeah, and it's really any time that you can get in those mid-30s at the high school level, you're doing pretty well from beyond the arc. And obviously with them being at 40 is exceptional for high school. And, around the really across the board, shoot it well as a team from the line as well, which is what you might expect, shooting that well from three. So they're a team that can hurt you from outside, so you really got to guard that, but that also plays into attacking the basket when you're really trying to do hard closeouts, trying to take shots away from the perimeter, really opens things up for the drive as well.
And we'll talk more about them from a shooting standpoint, but Coy Ferguson, by the way, at 55% on the year, and Austin Stein is also shooting at 45%, but 50% from three-point range. We'll come back, talk about the Warriors off to a 1-1 start. We'll do that coming up next right here on Indiana SRN. Back here at Covington Christian High School, the Warriors again at 1-1 on the year. We'll talk more about them as we go throughout. They've got a lot of really good shooters, but when you talk about players lost from last year, had one of the best in Brock Buckley, 18 points, 6 rebounds, and nearly 7 rebounds and 2 steals per game, and they also lost Christian Flowers at about 14 a game. So 2 guys that they're going to find somebody to step up in place of those 2 players.
Yeah, as we mentioned in our opening segment, each year there's a new face, if you will. But there's not also new faces. You also got new roles, and others are being called upon to do some things that maybe they weren't in the previous season. Obviously, one of those guys is Coach's son in Tony Flatt, coming off a great football season as well. It's kind of their floor general, if you will, and Wyatt Wash and Andrew Crane are 2 of the other leading scorers that's coming back from last year. All 3 of them averaged under 10, but there's a lot of intangibles that the 3 of these guys can give and provide Coach Flatt. Coach Flatt has always done a great job, and we would go way back in terms of competing against them for years, and he just does a phenomenal job with his program from a developmental standpoint, really in doing things the right way.
Well, you speak of a team, if you looked at their first 2 games, they beat Speedway 67-55. They rebounded well. They really shot the ball well. They were at 47% overall, 41% from three-point range. And then they lose to Mount Vernon by 20. They were out-rebounded in that game and did not shoot quite as well. But they've got some guys that are going to light it up here today. You already mentioned some of them already. Are they a team that's going to be maybe more of a 3-dominated type team this year without Buckley in the lineup?
Well, I think sometimes, when teams lose some of their premier and dominant players, I think a lot of times less can become more.
Yeah.
We see it a lot of times, to where you got a player that really is the go-to guy. What it can do is it sets your team up for more ISO plays, and everybody else is standing around watching that individual do that. And so what it really catapults your team into position to where the ball is shared more. There's a lot more balance between what you're doing, not only from a distribution standpoint, but also from the scoring.
By the way, looks like Covenant might have new uniforms because those numbers are big and easy to read, Coach.
We got to like that. It's not the dark on dark, but no, you gotta like that, and kids love that, in terms of that. And got the fresh kicks out here too. Coach got them looking cleaner than the State Board of Health there, man.
we get an opportunity, we'll check out some of the other big games going on around the state, especially around central Indiana. Coming up in just a couple of moments, the AP poll came out this week for the first time. Really no big surprises. We'll get an opportunity. We'll check that out as well in all of the classes, but we should have a good one here tonight. Covington coming in at 3-1. The Warriors of Covenant Christian coming in at 1-1 on the season. We will come back in a couple of moments. The tip-off, the starting lineups as well, right here on Indiana SRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Indiana SRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Covenant, let's go to our public address announcer for the starters here tonight for the Warriors. So there you have the starters for the Warriors. It'll be Flat, Wash, Crane, Bacon, and Farrell. And tonight for the Covington Trojans, they're going to go with Duncan Keller, Coy Ferguson, Austin Stein, along with Carver Fry and Dane Gerling. Keys to this one tonight?
Well, I think a lot of it is how well Covenant's going to be able to maintain the balance and in defending these kind of the three-headed monster, if you will, of the Trojans with their scorers. I think obviously Covington's ability to be able to cut down on the threes that we know Covenant likes to shoot, just like any game, minimizing the mental mistakes or the turnovers that are uncostly. And then I think the big part is how well Covenant can respond to the scoring that Covington will present.
Covenant will win the tip, and they will be in the white, Covington in the dark uniforms, and we are underway here tonight. We have several games coming up tomorrow. We'll check those out throughout the night as well. I mentioned Covington with 3 wins already this year. That is Flat on the drive, and they're going to get him for the charge. And sometimes with Tony Flat, he gets a little bit I mean, he's a high-energy guy for sure, but you love to see him pull up on that one.
No, he is. I mean, a lot of times, and he's that way a lot of times in football as well. And I think, obviously, where he can just get to a place where his feet kind of slow down a bit. But you got to love that. He's a real deep-hearted player.
That is Keller with a basketball. We mentioned Keller averaging at 19 points per game. See the Warriors opening up in a man-to-man. Entry pass knocked away, and each team now with a turnover. And so the Warriors back the other way. They'll set it up for the second time. You noticed each team is also opening up in their man-to-man defense. As Wash with the basketball off to Crane, and then they'll go in the corner to Flat. The entry pass shot no good by Bacon, and they're one and done there.
Yeah, really great job there. Bacon seeing the seam and getting it, and obviously Flat finding him. Got to, obviously, when you're getting that close, to be able to contribute and knock those down.
Well, as you mentioned, we're only a few games into the season, 2 for Covenant and 4 games. This will be the 5th game now for Covington.
Yeah, I tell you, only being in week 2 and already being in your 5th game.
Yeah,
pretty aggressive scheduling right off the bat. We talked about the 2 games that Covenant's had with Speedway, and then obviously to be a smaller school and have a 4A opponent that early is a great gauge to where you're at this point.
Crossover here as you take a look at Stein. In the corner now to Keller.
Yeah, Covenant doing a really good job of contesting here as we get a 3.
Yeah, that was Austin Stein, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Stein hits the 3 in the corner, just a sophomore. So now back the other way here is Wyatt Wash, missing that 3 from the top. He's 6'6" and a senior.
Yeah, Covington certainly has a bit more size. Plays well in the post side of things, but in today's game, as we get a nice drive here by Gerling, couldn't get it to fall. But you just don't see the post action as much as you get it through flashes and cuts things, but it's just become such a perimeter game.
Left hand is good as Andrew Crane on the board.
Younger brother of Ben Crane, who graduated a few years ago, as we get a steal here.
Behind the back pass, this will be Bacon. Misses the shot badly. Second turnover for Covington. By the way, you mentioned Keller averaging 19.3, Coy Ferguson at 13.5, and Austin Stein at 12.5. And Keller averages 7.5 rebounds, and Ferguson at 8.3 rebounds per game.
Yeah, you see both of these teams at both ends of the floor. We'll see both these teams really applying a lot of pressure on the perimeter, as both of them like the outside game.
That one kissed off the glass. That is Ferguson with his first 2 points, and it's a 5-2 ball game.
Yeah, and there I love to see guys, especially when you're in a position to use the glass, to just do that, and a lot of times you just don't see it. So really good job there by Coy.
I don't think it's cool to kiss it off the glass anymore, is it?
Back in our days, it certainly was. But, yeah, it's great to see that being done, though.
Second turnover by Covenant, and we have a foul call. Looks like they'll get 23 Bacon on the foul. Let's take a look at that first three-pointer made by...
A really good job here getting a skip pass, really shifting the defense and eliminating the ball reversal and just getting the skip. So great find there, as we got another one right here with Gerling getting his first points of the game.
Nice inbound, so Gerling on the board. Early 5-point lead now for Covington. Flat in the corner to Wash. Cut off on the baseline. They'll work it around the perimeter. The entry pass almost stolen away.
Good patience here by the Warriors. Really trying to find seams. Good job with the ball movement. As we get a 3 there by Crane. First one of the game, but his 5th. He's got all the points of the Warriors, Troy.
Yep, Crane now with 5, and it's back to 2. That is Keller, who hasn't really participated much in the offense here early, as we're now past the halfway point of this opening quarter. Yep, and under by Stein, back out, and the 3 on the way is short by Ferguson, and we've got another whistle.
Yeah, and even though that 3 didn't drop down, you got to be careful about your double downs in the post with the outside shooting that the Trojans have.
So Wyatt Wash, let's take a look at that three the other way. That was Andrew Crane.
And really what you want in that, too, is getting the inside-outside punch, having your defense collapse, let them read that and get the kicks out. But you just got to have your guys on the perimeter be ready to have their feet set, ready to get that shot off.
Keller, entry pass, short jump hook good on the baseline by Ferguson. He has 4.
Yeah, nice touch down there. Love to see some of the smaller guys, mouses in the houses, if you will, really getting some inside posts and playing the percentage game.
Entry the other way, off balance. The kick out by Farrell, and the three is good, and that's going to be Bacon.
Well, there's your inside-outside game again. Got good post-entry pass. He demanded 2, got the kick out.
Off balance shot by Keller's no good, and we will have a rebounding foul. Or did it go out of bounds? It went out of bounds. So back over to Covenant.
We've been able to see, too, Troy, early on here. We talked about in the opening segment as about the outside shooting of both these teams, and we're seeing it. Even though Covenant's had a few baskets inside, but both teams have hit a couple threes, and we got things underway here.
By the way, James Laughlin, a guy who can shoot the three, has entered the lineup now for Covenant. He wears number 14. So Covenant a chance to take the lead right here. The kick out. Here's the three, short by Crane. Offensive rebound flat. And they'll get another possession. Got a foul the other way called against Duncan Keller.
The thing you'd like to see, too, is you have both these teams with good perimeter outside shooting, is when you have somebody get downhill and attack the basket, that trail guy's really got to follow that penetration, as we got another three missed up. But Covington giving up second offensive rebound.
Yeah, by the way, in the ball game, Isaac Niemeyer, a 5'11 senior, missed that last three-pointer. We mentioned earlier we thought they'd shoot a lot of threes, and so far they've done so here in this opening period. Here is Niemeyer again.
I was going to say, speaking of that, here comes another one.
Well, we watched him shoot a lot of threes in the Speedway and Mount Vernon game, especially in that Mount Vernon contest. Little floater, no good by Keller, and Covenant will get it again.
Well, and a lot of times, too, when you have so many three balls, a lot of times it'll give long rebounds, so it can really put your opponent in positions for transition. So you got to think, too, is how well do you defend that with the long rebounds.
That'll be called against Covington. They're going to get number 21 there, Urban Rourks, who's entered the ball game, a 5'11 sophomore. That is their second team foul. Gerling will come out of the lineup as Covenant will inbound the basketball. The entry, nice no-look pass pretty much there to Wyatt. He gets his first two.
Yeah, very nice job of finding his teammate. Defense came to him, great vision. And you always want to think about that. When you catch the ball, we talk about ripping to the hip and creating basket vision to see who's closer.
Quickly back the other way. We've got a foul call, and a block will be the call by the underneath official. Looks like that might have been 22, and it was Andrew Crane. Let's take another look at that last assist. I think it was Crane. Yep,
it was. Yeah, just getting a four across, more mid-post action, getting a double screen off of that, and getting the post entry pass. Great find, great finish.
We are already at 4 fouls by Covenant. As they called a 2-shot foul here, he'll get the first. That is Ferguson now with 5. Chance to regain the lead. He gets both. So they had a 5-point lead moments ago, and now it's down to 1 as Covington had lost the lead. Or I should say, yes, Covington lost it just moments ago.
Yeah, both teams doing a really good job of closing out, getting some good containment pressure off the pass. But the way you're going to break that down is Flat makes a nice little slash move, but couldn't get it to finish. But I thought they were going to give it back to Covenant. But yeah, so I mean, you're in this position though of having good perimeter shooting and getting the closing out that both teams have shown here. So you kind of neutralize that, but by continued ball movement.
There's that pressure put on now by Covenant Christian. It did force a turnover earlier. The drive, the kick, 3 in the corner, in and out, and he can't get it to go. Put back good. That's going to be Ferguson.
Well, Ferguson's already got 8 early on here as we're getting towards the end of this quarter. Really great job of attacking the glass and getting the easy putback.
There is Flat from the corner. He hits a 3.
Well, they got 4 of their 5 that are in the scoring column now with another tray. That's the third of the team so far.
Nice shot fake, got the defender in the air, but Ferguson can't get it to go. It'll stay right here, last touched by Crane.
That's like carrying it off the rim about 4 times, but great job of here. What I really like in Baldwin, really getting down here, or excuse me, Weininger downhill to pinch the 2 and then getting the kick and finding his teammate.
So just over 15 remaining here in the opening period of play. This is Ferguson. Falls to the floor, gets it to Stein, and as he drives, it's knocked out of bounds. We'll stay right here again.
And these types of moments, if you're not in a position like on the last out-of-bounds play, they got the guy hitting back door or back cutting for the layup on the out-of-bounds play. But if not, you really want to try to make sure you keep possession of this and take your shot with about 3 or 4 seconds to go. Give yourself an opportunity for an offensive putback, but not give it back to Covenant.
Midla and Humbert both coming in now for Covenant here in the final seconds. Shot on the way, good, and there's Ferguson again having a very good opening quarter.
Yeah, great touch around the basket. Really can be tough, even though they're short, but really a touch shot. So really great job by Coy.
After 1, Covington leads it by 2.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Industrial Sales Associates. They've been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee for many years. They say good luck to all the teams during this winter sports season. For more information, contact them at 317-546-1900. We have seen some games this year where you get off to a pretty decent start scoring-wise, and then all of a sudden
it flatlines.
It flatlines big time. So let's see what happens here in period number 2.
Yeah, big thing is sustainability and finding that balance.
Carver Fry, the senior now at the point, working the ball against Niemeyer, who stays in the ball game here in period number 2. Nice cut down the lane. We've got a foul, and the bucket is good.
Yeah, it looks like your leading scorer, Keller, now into the scoring column as well.
Yeah, that's really the first time maybe that he's gotten a good look down low like that. Did the head fake. We don't see that very often. Got the defender in the air and got the foul as well. They're going to say that foul was on Jamison Laughlin, his first. And the free throw good by Keller, and he now has 3.
As good as they shoot from the perimeter, you can get it the old way and get the and one.
Good ball movement into the corner.
And these are things that you like to see, too, shifting the defense from side to side and then get a post-entry pass. Doesn't get any better than that. And that's what you want to do. You want to shift your defense, make a move, try to get the inside-outside game. In this case, not only got it inside, but got the and one. As he's got a chance, Andrew Crane, that is, to knock down the three-point play.
Yeah, it's going to be Duncan Keller who gives it right back.
Did a really good job, too, of sealing him off. Really used his low hip there to keep him off. A good post-entry pass as well.
At the line, Crane, the left-hander shoots and misses. And it will be Covington basketball. There's that pressure again, nearly the turnover as Kurt Slider in the ball game now for Covington, and a foul in the backcourt. They're going to get number 1, which is Isaac Weiniger.
Well, the Warriors kind of bailed Coach Morgan out there because he was getting ready to signal, or he did signal for the timeout, but the whistle had already been blown, so it saves this timeout.
So a 3-point lead now for Covington, trying to pick up their 4th win of the season. Ball nearly thrown away as it's going to be saved from going out of bounds. They'll throw it off Weiniger's leg.
Well, you see some of the three-quarter court pressure. Now you're seeing some of the trapping in the half court, and being able to mix it up like that. Really good move by Coach Flatt, and not allowing the offense to get in any type of comfort level.
Nice pass inside, left hand, no. Battle for the rebound. Shot was missed by Carver Fry, and we have a foul now in the backcourt. I think they got Fry.
Well, and that's one, obviously, you got to be able to knock down. Great job of hitting back door, being overplayed. Great find by his teammate. And you get to the rack and get that low, you got to be able to hit the bunnies.
4th team foul on Covington. There are 6 fouls on Covenant. So Covington will be in the bonus, able to shoot some free throws here in the second quarter.
They're doing a good job of moving around the perimeter, as we talked before. Would like to see a little bit more of the downhill attacks into these gaps to pinch the defense to find these creases.
Flat got cut off on the baseline. Covington's defense doing pretty well.
They are, yeah. Really doing a good job of sustaining and containing the ball. But great patience as well by Covenant.
Still haven't found the shot they want. In fact, this might be the longest possession they've had in the entire ball game. In the corner, here's a 3 by Laughlin. It is good.
Well, great job, great patience, and we got Jameson in the scoring column there as well. But you think about the clock management, too. I mean, probably took a good minute 20 off that clock with one possession.
Covington back the other way. There is Ferguson.
Yeah, he's now got 12.
Yeah, it continues to play well. Tony Flatt. The kick out now to Crane. This will be Weiniger. Crane will find his teammate now, Laughlin, with the basketball, and back to Flatt. You mean we might see 2 straight possessions of maybe a minute?
Oh, great find there.
Yeah.
Absolutely great cut there by Jameson, getting back-to-back buckets. And that's what you want. You want to be able to see when that defense is turning their back to you and then finding that.
How about the passing of Andrew Crane so far?
Yeah, good vision.
Shot off the glass, no good, and taken out of there by Flatt. Ferguson ends up on his back. Flatt takes it down to the bucket and has it blocked out of bounds. That's going to be the block by Fry.
I'll take a look here at that last basket coming in here. So, again, really good job. And if you even saw that in terms of Andrew when he caught that ball, even though he didn't turn him face up, but he's looking at the lane, looking over his shoulder and being able to find those cuts that take place. Great job there by his teammate.
Yeah, he's had 2 very nice assists as he'll step in there off the miss. Crane gets the offensive rebound.
Hustle play there. Great job. Keep the ball alive. Extra possession.
Flatt, the double team. Good ball movement. Here's Weiniger. His shot's off the mark. And the rebound by Slider there. Kurt Slider in the ball game now for Covington. Coming up on the halfway mark here in the quarter. Should have been a travel right there. This one powered up and another miss underneath. It was Gerling who couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, even though he's contested, that's still 4 of them that they've missed layups there.
So now Covenant a chance to take the lead. Crane off that high post. Nice pass underneath and a block shot coming over to block it is Ferguson. It goes out of bounds. We'll stay right here.
Yeah, great find. You got to shoot those. Just got to be in a position to have some sense of court awareness and understanding to get that shot off a little bit quicker.
You know, they need to do the old Dan Issel head fake.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Get him up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to try. And, the thing is, too, is that there's so many times when we talk to kids, and development-wise is, when we were younger, it was more about doing the head fake. But, of course, we know we never, shoot with our head.
Yeah.
And it's heaviest part on your body, so it takes you out of balance. So you really want to show and go and really keep the head still and lift that ball up to show the ball. But that's the difference in the evolution of the game from the 70s and 80s and even a little bit of the 90s to what it is now.
Exactly. We've got a timeout on the floor. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill. Feel like treating someone special to a delicious meal from Aspen Creek Grill? Next time you come in for dinner, make sure you buy some gift cards to share with your friends and family. Aspen Creek Grill has great food, and make sure you try their powwow shrimp. Aspen Creek Grill, located in Noblesville. A couple of other games going on tonight. Beech Grove is at Speedway. Center Grove is on the road at Bloomington North. Decatur Central playing at Franklin tonight. Eastern Hancock is at New Pal. Fisher's at Noblesville. Franklin Central at Brownsburg. Cathedral has a tough one tonight at Brebeuf. Tech is at North Central. Carmel hosting Lawrence Central. Park Tudor's at Cecina. Perry Meridian at Mooresville. Plainfield is at Whiteland, and Westfield at Zionsville. Some of the games around Central Indiana. Before you know it, we'll be into holiday tournaments, too.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Approaching 3 weeks away.
So Covington after the timeout. Chance to take the lead. Each team has had an opportunity to regain the lead. Little floater on the way is good. That's going to be Austin Stein now with 5.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do, especially is be able to find those seams, whether it's through cuts or dribble penetration. Here, working the inside out.
Ooh.
Had the right idea on that. That time he drew 3 guys. Great job there for Wyatt to be cutting back door. But lost the ball there.
Neff Farrell turn it over. 3rd turnover now by Covenant. So now a chance here for Covington to build on that 2-point lead as we come up on the 3-minute mark. Nothing there for Keller. Fry will give it back to Keller, who works out front. On the drive, off the glass, no.
Really nice move, though. I like the physicality of it, using the inside hip. Strong with the ball, strong with the attack.
Boy, at the other end, how about Ferguson getting another block shot, and then the foul be called on Tony Flatt. That's going to be his 2nd.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Coy's doing it at both ends of the floor with already 10 points. 12 points, but also has 2 or 3 blocks and has been on the glass as well. So really good job. And you want that in terms of balance. A lot of times you'll see your scorers, do some things on that end, but kind of be a little bit more lax. So love to see that and that balance of this young man.
And we'll walk to the other end of the floor, and we're at the bonus again here for Covington. Ferguson 2 for 2 tonight from the line. By the way, again, Tony Flatt with that 2nd foul as that one is missed. He comes out of the ball game. Andrew Crane has checked back in.
Well, and that's the thing that Tony even had last year. Sometimes a little complications at times dealing with foul trouble. And he's such a hard player, hard-nosed kid, knows one speed. And so sometimes, as much as you love that, it can also be a detriment. Because you need somebody like him on the floor, which is his vision and court leadership.
Entry pass intended for Farrell. I think they got Gerling on the foul. That'll be his 1st. And that is only the 5th team foul, so we'll take the basketball out of bounds underneath. We mentioned that scoring was at a pretty good clip in the 1st quarter, but now things have slowed down here for Covenant in the 2nd. That shot's on the way and missed. Offensive rebound, put back, no. And the next put back, no. You had 2 misses by Bacon, and Farrell missed another one.
Yeah, got to be able to knock those down and convert one of them. But, Covenant's been able to get on the offensive glass quite a bit. That's their 2nd, if not 3rd possession where they've had multiple offensive boards.
Only 7 points now scored by Covenant here in the 2nd quarter. They had 13 in the opening period. The drive, the Shot missed short by Keller. On the run the other way. Covington trying to get to the rack, and they do. That'll be Wyatt Wash. He has 4.
Yeah, really good job there. And you want to get that. When you can get controlled rebounds, you want to get the ball out and go. You want to try to minimize the half-court sets you can. We always talked about when I was coaching, if you can try to get 14, 16 points in transition a game is huge at the high school level.
Drive down the lane, and looks like it's going to be an offensive foul on Keller, and I think he has 3 fouls now.
Yeah, and great job there of Andrew Crane. We've talked enough about him on the offensive end and getting it done here defensively. A lot of times every kid's not willing to do that, is stand in there. But really good job there is holding his ground. Kind of saw that coming with Duncan Keller. Just hasn't been quite able to find his rhythm just yet with just 3 points. He's their leading scorer with 19 a game.
So now Covington chance to take the lead, regain the lead here in this second quarter with about a minute to go.
And don't be surprised if they keep the ball movement here intentionally. As soon as I say that, we shoot a 3.
Yeah, Farrell, the big guy stepping outside. You know, I've done that a couple of times. So I said, they're probably going to do this, and then they shoot it quickly.
Yeah. Well, chances are we're going to get a shot down here. We might get another charge.
Yep, there is another charge. And
who
it's
is
going
it?
to be
Andrew Crane.
Andrew Crane, yep. Foul's going to be against Ferguson. Well, you got to like that, Coach. I mean, you said a little bit ago, a lot of guys don't like taking a charge.
No, it's in a lot of ways, it's kind of the lost art of the game in a sense, and just the physicality of it. It's becoming a game of offense so much away from the basket, and even from the physicality side of it defensively, you just don't see it as much. So when you do, you got to love it.
If anybody doesn't think that that's not true about how the game has changed, is Laughlin misses. Just do a little research on all the games you watch and see how wide open it is down underneath most of the time. There's just no post players.
Yeah, and a lot of times you see teams running with 5-out sets.
Yeah.
It's whether it's the 3-point game or you just don't really see the downhill attacks as much anymore either.
As time runs out, that shot up and good by Stein, and a nice way to finish. Yes, was Covington. The Trojans will head to the locker room with a 2-point lead. Nice finish there for Covington. We'll get some of the first half numbers here in a moment, but again, offense was pretty decent, I think, in the opening quarter. Both teams kind of struggled a little bit in period number 2, and of course, foul trouble is going to be big when you think about, we're going to take a look at that last shot. That's about a 14-footer there by Stein.
Yeah, and I was defended as well as you can defend it, as Laughlin did there. Got a hand up, had it contested, just hit a tough shot, and you go to the locker room with a 2-point lead.
How much of a factor is it going to be now? Duncan Keller, are you going to bring him back to start the third quarter and hope he doesn't pick up number 4? Or do you want to wait a little bit?
Well, it's one of those. Is it 3 or 4?
I have him for 3.
3. I thought you said 4. I'm sorry. I was going to say, wow, it's 4. He probably should have been out even earlier. It's one of those things that you kind of have to have a talk to him. You want to try to get him in his rhythm. You're a kid, or as a coach, that's a kid that you are really called upon when he's almost a 20-point scorer. Got to be mindful of that, but he's obviously going to find himself parked on the bench pretty quick if they do look to starting.
By the way, Ferguson, 12 points, 7 by Stein, 3 by Keller, and 2 by Gerling in the first half of play. All these numbers unofficial. On the other side, Flat has 3, Wash has 4, Laughlin with 5, Crane with 7, and Bacon with 3. And it doesn't appear other than Tony Flat, who has the 2 fouls. He's the only one in foul trouble for Covenant. Halftime score, Covington 24, Covenant Christian 22.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
Sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
My name is David Pfeiffer. I'm the athletic director here at Covington Christian High School. I'm also the boys soccer coach. I've been coaching for the last 5 seasons now, and have stepped into this role of athletic director at the same time. My time here at Covenant has been amazing. I've really enjoyed the atmosphere, the environment that I've been able to be a part of as an administrator as well as a coach. Within our athletic department, we offer 18 varsity level sports, and we also have a boys club volleyball as well. You look around the state, there aren't many small schools that offer all of those athletic teams, and within each of those teams we have junior varsity teams and maybe even freshman and C teams. So for our student athletes, there are lots of opportunities, regardless of what your level of experience is, to be able to get some playing time and be a part of a team. Looking back over the last few years, when I think of the success that we've seen within our athletic programs, we've had 43 student athletes, alumni, that have carried on their athletic pursuits at the next level, playing anywhere from the NAIA all the way up to Division I NCAA. And so to have that kind of number at a smaller school like this is pretty great testament of the type of student athletes that we're producing from an athletic standpoint as well. You look back too at the success of our overall teams. Over the last 25 years that Covenant has been in existence, we've won nearly 50 sectional titles, at least 10 regional titles, 5 semi-state titles, and then more recently our football team winning the 2020 1A state championship. So it's neat to see our teams being able to compete at the highest of levels and attain those accolades from a team perspective and an individual experience as well. I think what's also unique about being in a smaller school is those options and opportunities to play in multiple sports. As a former high school and collegiate athlete, I had the opportunity to play multiple sports in high school, and the opportunity to build a relationship with different teammates on different teams as well as different coaches is really unique, and I think an awesome opportunity that our student athletes have here at Covenant. Speaking of our coaches, each of our coaching staff have a personal relationship with Jesus, and their heart and their intention is to certainly help you grow as an athlete for sure, but we're also challenging to grow academically in the classroom, but also in their personal relationship with the Lord as well. So I think that's another unique thing about athletics here at Covenant Christian is this opportunity to help us pursue Christ in the midst of our academic and our athletic pursuits at the same time. At Covenant, we certainly want to provide an education-based athletic experience. So we certainly take seriously that our students are first students, right? They're student athletes, not athlete students. So from beginning to end, we want to provide accountability and a charge for you to succeed in the classroom and to be excellent stewards of the time that you have there, so that you're setting yourself up well for academics down the road as well. But we also want to compete at the highest of levels, and we want to try to equip and enable each of our student athletes to become the best version of themselves in the classroom and on the athletic contest field. So I think one of the unique things again about what we're trying to accomplish is this whole person development, right? We're challenging you to grow in the classroom, we're challenging you to compete at the highest level, and we're challenging you again to grow in your personal relationship with Jesus Christ as well.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
I can heard that solo!
You saying I did?
Yeah!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
But they also have them
back here at Covington Christian High School. Great to have you with us here for our matchup tonight between Covington and Covington Christian. Halftime score 24-22. You know, as you look at the AP polls this week, I don't think there's any big surprises yet. And this early in the season, we're still trying to figure out. We'll get separation from the really good to the other teams, but any surprises you saw in the polls this week?
No, and I mean, you know, the thing is that most networks and most people in general are always going to just like, hey, 3A, 4A to get all the attention. Obviously, previously coaching at a smaller school, I like to always look at those 1A and 2As as well. But no, I don't think there is too much. I think one that maybe – I would say is maybe a little bit with Burbuff. I mean, coming out and being second or third in 3A, coming off a good, year closing last year, but they lost a fair amount of players. So I was a little surprised to see them maybe as high as that they were. But, other than that, I mean, the interesting thing is outside of 4A, there's and Burbuff at the 3A level, there's not a lot of local teams in the top five outside with the 1, 2, and 3A.
Yeah.
And so, like to see some of the more area, but being in the metro area, you're going to see more of that in the 3A and 4A anyways.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by RefReps. It's designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations. They're helping officials to hone their skills and promote unity in the officiating world. RefReps is now for the new official and the seasoned veteran. If you need more information, contact refreps.com. And our game is brought to you in part by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe. It's a new spot for breakfast or lunch. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Try their classic breakfast or their sweet baked goods. They're located in Lawrence, and as always, Coach recommends the Sloppy Joes with extra pickles as a great lunch. Check out Tam's at 6427 Oaklandon Road. If you need more information on their carryout, give them a call at 317-760-1640. It'll be Covenant basketball to begin the third quarter. See if Duncan Keller is going to be in the lineup here in this quarter.
He is.
He is. He's going to play with those 3 fouls.
Probably not without a conversation, though, at halftime. Because, if he gets a fourth, it's a big blow. Really, really nice move there by the reverse drop step there by Farrell to get on the scoring column for him.
That's pretty good footwork, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, obviously a bit elusive, big body, but really good job there on the little crab dribble with the reverse spin.
As you mentioned a little bit ago, that is the first 2 points for Farrell this year, a 6'3 junior. So, again, not much separation between these two teams as we're down to the last 2 quarters of this one. Ferguson had 12. He led all scorers at halftime. Stein on the drive and a traveling call. Yep, there's number 3 now on Covington.
Yeah, I thought maybe he might get away with it. It was a little delayed, but it was certainly the right call. Drag that pivot foot when he came to the jump stop there.
So actually, when you look at the turnovers, both teams only with 3. So from that standpoint, pretty clean.
Yeah, that's very good, because usually on the high school level, you're going to be anywhere from that, 13 to 17 with some of the good teams.
3-pointer missed by Wyatt Wash, and to give you an idea, Covington's been averaging 14 a game in their first 4. So they probably are very happy with only having, now 4, as they've turned it over now twice here in the third. Chance to take the lead. A nice drive, Wyatt Wash.
Yeah, really, really good job. Love the jump stop, kind of more of the wrap over the top, if you will.
Wash now with 6. Covenant by 2. There's a drive and a whistle, and Keller will go to the line.
Well, that's what Duncan does. He's got a good balance between his game as not only the outside threat, but using some of his length and his athleticism and getting downhill. So probably look to try to see a lot more of that as he asserts himself to try to get into this game. When you're kind of struggling a little bit as a scorer, when you're that guy, from the outside, as you run again, play the percentages, kind of getting a rhythm of getting yourself and working from your scoring from the inside out, and not the reverse of that from the outside in as he converts the second.
1 of 2 there for Keller. Again, averaging 19 coming in. He's been held to 4 so far here tonight. That foul was on Farrell, his first.
And if you're Coach Flatt, you're loving that, keeping him down. The bigger thing is, can you sustain that for another quarter and a half?
Here's a 3 by Crane. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Wash hands it off, and a foul call, and that's going to put Farrell at the line.
Yeah, great opportunity there that Wyatt Wash had, and that's what you love in sharing the ball to where you're not in a position where you're giving up a good shot to get a better one. Here he attacks the basket, had about a 4 or 5 footer, gave a little shot fake, and then hit the dump pass down in here to Farrell for him to go to the line as he hits the first.
Coach, there's no doubt when you look at this Covenant team, when they beat Speedway, they had 15 assists, so they know how to pass.
Yeah, and you love that. Anytime that you can get north of 10 or 11 at the high school level, really, really good to where you're seeing the sharing and the distribution of the floor and getting all your teammates involved.
As you saw right there, Farrell missing the second free throw. So now Covington a chance to regain the lead. We've gone back and forth. The lead really hasn't, other than early in the ball game. It was 7 at one point, but other than that, it's been close all the way. Nice drive by Gerling. He now has 4.
Yeah, really good downhill attack there. You'll see Covenant has been switching on a lot of things here, as we have Wash going downhill here and getting a nice little floater. Nice soft touch.
He has 8. Everything has come from the field other than the 1 free throw by Farrell for Covenant here tonight. Had a game the other night. We had maybe 4 free throws total as the rebound knocked out of bounds there by Keller. We haven't had a ton of free throws here tonight either.
No, and I think a lot of that is early on. For about a quarter and a half, there was just so much from the outside. Here in the late in the second quarter, and certainly start here of the third, we've seen a lot more attacking as Covenant's got all their baskets that way, and so has Covington going either downhill or to the line.
Got a close-up of Flatt there a moment ago. Always has the nice hair. Drive inside with a left hand. Good. There is Bacon.
Again, nice downhill attack. Once again, kissing it off the glass. Nice, strong finish.
We've had now 6 different players get in the scoring column tonight for the Warriors, and now a 4-point lead. The kick out, Fry for 3, shot the air ball, and it'll go back over to the Warriors.
I'll tell you, Covenant's done a really good job, too. They know, the 3-headed monster in Keller, Ferguson, and Stein coming in here, but they've done a great job of not allowing Keller to get comfortable. He's really had a hard time of finding some rhythm, but they've made things tough by great defensive ball containment pressure.
And even though they have, 23 of the 27, they just doesn't feel like they've been hurt at all when you consider Covington the way that they have played early this year with those 3 guys. Here's a three the other way. That's going to be missed by Niemeyer, who's now checked in. Keller with only one basket so far here tonight for Covington. They've held Ferguson in check now halfway through this third quarter. And so far, Covington's managed to score just 3 points in this quarter.
I'm sure if you told Coach Flatt that, hey, midway through the third quarter, their leading scorer is going to have almost as many fouls as he has points, I think you were going to sign up for that.
Exactly. Behind the back pass, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be the fourth turnover now by Covenant. Yeah, I think, you look at Duncan Keller there, kind of a little frustration, I'm sure, at this stage. And you saw down at the other end, Austin Stein, that's her second straight air ball that they shot. So I imagine they're a little frustrated right now.
Well, they are, and I think a lot of times when you're that guy that scores like he does early on in these 4 games, it can get a bit frustrating. But you know what? That's the sign of things to come as we have Ferguson knocking down a shot here for his 14th point. But a lot of that, you got to expect that in a young season already, and there's going to be more of that to come. I think his ability to respond to that and how he can make those around him better as Covenant gets a 3, and it looked like that was knocked down by Bacon.
It was. He now has 8, his second three-pointer of the night. Lead now at 5. Here is Stein. Nice pass down low. Basket good by Gerling.
Yeah, great job there by Stein getting downhill. Drew the defense, had a little dump pass. Easy finish there by Gerling.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. We suggest you contact him and his team for all your insurance needs, whether it's family, car, business, or home. They're an insurance company to serve you. Contact them today at 317-894-7000. Take a look at this last three-pointer.
The thing that you love there is just the feet being set. His hands are ready. He's locked and loaded, as we called it. Those are types of things that when you're off the ball like that, you always got to be playing as if you're anticipating that pass every time. And that time, certainly, Paxton was and ready to shoot that ball.
Well, they're going to be dangerous as they go throughout the year. Speaking of Covenant, if they continue to hit the 3, you have Flatt with the 3 tonight. You have Laughlin with a 3. You have Crane with a 3, 2 by Bacon. And we talked about how many of these guys could shoot coming in, and you can list all of them: Crane, Niemeyer, Bacon.
Yeah, almost 50% of their points have been threes for Covenant.
This is Flatt looking for the backdoor cut.
It's one thing, obviously, you want to be in a position where you're not picking your dribble up. You got to be in a position, a great backdoor cut and read here by Wyatt Wash for a backdoor basket. But being able to keep that dribble alive until you know you're ready to pass or shoot, even if you're downhill attack and hitting with the inside hip, get the drawback dribble and then re-attack or reassess to distribute.
Well, I've been very impressed, again, the way that Covenant Christian has passed the basketball tonight.
Well, and a lot of that comes off the ball too, Troy. I mean, it's what are you doing off the ball? You can't be inactive.
Yeah.
Whether you're moving off of screens, making your defender really work, but then also reading your defender. We talk to our kids all the time, and whenever you're being overplayed, you have 100% autonomy to always basket cut. And Covenant does a great job of having vision and finding their guys to do that.
Well, that last shot by Keller, that's the third air ball they have shot here in this quarter. That ball in the corner, the 3 rims in and out. Niemeyer nearly got his first 3 of the night. Lead will stay at 5 as we come up on 1 minute. Covington's offensive production has gone down, and there is their 5th turnover. Flat back the other way, leans in and missed it badly. Rebound Keller.
Well, I'd like to see Tony get downhill again, use more of the inside hip on that and just go strong.
Boy, and then Keller missed it the other end. Good pass, layup good, and there's Niemeyer, his first 2 points.
Yeah, great job again. We talked about it a few possessions ago as how well this Covenant Christian team shares the ball. They're not concerned with who gets the points because they know that they get them as a team. So really good job of sharing.
See if Covenant will go ahead and play, or should say Covington will go ahead and play for the final shot of this quarter. They're down by 7.
Yeah, and that's the biggest lead that either team has had here tonight.
It looks like they're going to try to play for 1.
And we had, can't say it just yet, quarter's not over, but Keller's gone through this quarter without drawing his 4th, which is a good side for Coach Morgan.
Spin in the lane, tried to up and under. That is Fry. And they throw it away. Turnover number 6. Chance here for a last-second shot. It's on the way and no good as Wyatt Wash attempting that final shot. And at the end of 3, Covenant leads it 38-31.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the expressed written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Covington, by the way, only 7 points in that quarter. They went from 15-9 to 7, and they shot the 3 air balls. Things aren't falling for him.
Yeah, Coach Morgan's certainly going to need a better output, not only from his offensive side, but they got to be able to stop a little bit more of the downhill penetration, playing better gap defense, because Covenant's done a great job of finding the open men, so they got to be able to neutralize that and kind of have their defense generate offense.
So Covington basketball, and they turn it over. The steal and the layup at the other end, good by Laughlin. He has 7. 7 turnovers now by Covington. Coach, we talked about it a little bit ago, is a Covington team that they didn't turn the ball over much early. They are averaging over 14 a game, but now it's starting to bite them a little bit.
No, it has, and it's not only. I mean, some of these are self-inflicted. There's no doubt, but give Covenant some credit too. Nice backdoor cut here, kind of what Covenant's been doing to Covington, and now Covington's doing it right back to him. Great basket there by Rourke's, his first 2 of the game.
Urban, a 5'11 sophomore, cuts the deficit to 7. Here is Wash for 3. He answers it right back.
So he's had a really, really nice ball game tonight. Now has 13.
Another player in double figures here tonight.
Up to a double-digit lead now. Yeah, this, if you're Covington too, you got to be really careful about trying not to get this back on one possession.
There is the 8th turnover, back the other way, layup good, and Wyatt Wash now with 15.
Guess who, right? He's had a great second half. He's got 11 here in the second half.
And it'll be a full timeout. We'll take a timeout as well, as Covenant Christian leads it by 12.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Back here following the timeout, let's take another look at that three-pointer moments ago. way behind the three-point line. Wyatt Wash, the senior, steps out and nails it.
I tell you, he's I don't know if that's quite a heat check moment, but he's in a position where he's really feeling it. Scored well, is at 11 here in the second half, and I think he's got 7 of their last 8 or 9 points. So done a great job here. And hey, when you feel it and you're open,
yeah,
got a 10-point lead. Go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, Wyatt, by the way, at 4 at halftime, he has 15. If my math is correct, that's 11 in the second half. 5 of those already coming here in the fourth quarter, and that lead is now at 12, and that's your biggest lead of the ball game. So what does Covington have here?
Again, you got a situation where you're picking your dribble up, not knowing just yet. So you got to really keep that dribble alive.
Foul's going to be
Flats.
Yep.
Flats. Is that his 4th? Huh?
For Flat, that's only his 3rd. Yeah, so he played that entire third quarter with 2, and we mentioned Duncan Keller had played the entire third quarter with 3. Having a hard time getting it in bounds. Here's a 3 on the way. That's off the front of the rim, and Gerling barely got a piece of it.
They really have struggled here in the second part of the second quarter, as well as all the third, with their outside shooting. And again, we talked about trying to work the inside game when the outside game's not quite there. Play the percentages and work from the inside out.
Wash thought he had a 3. In fact, had a nice pass there from Tony Flat. Just couldn't hit the shot. And now Covington.
Be able to turn these corners with your penetration, and again, try to draw 2. Or try to get to the basket as they do here, and what you want in Keller getting to the basket.
Keller's first basket in the entire second half. Flat drives down the lane, feeds it off now to Laughlin. He missed it. Here we are in the run. Keller back the other way, and we've got a blocking foul called against Andrew Crane.
Yeah, and that's what the Trojans got to do is when you, again, we talked about earlier, when you get controlled rebounds, you got to go. The thing about it is you got to be able to have some guys without the ball, kind of what we call your wide runners, is trying to do your best to get ahead of the ball. But in that case, Duncan did a great job getting downhill, didn't get the basket, draw foul, knocked down this first one. And again, it's what you want. Now, you got to think about consecutive back-to-back stops, and you got to be able to hit at least on 50% of your stops, and they'll be in a position with under 3 to be in this game.
4 or 5 from the line now by Keller. Lead back to 8. They've extended that defense a little bit further, coming all the way out to midcourt. And the foul call, if they got Keller, that's number 4.
Well, and that's where he's got to be a little bit more mindful. 2 is, regardless who you are, regardless how many fouls you have, you got to think containment. Don't bail the offense out, by you trying to get a quick steal. You got contained pressure. Have them make turnovers due to your pressure, but not giving them an opportunity there where you're bailing them out.
The double down, the kick out, the 3 on the way as Wyatt Wash hit that 3 moments ago. He's missed 2 in a row.
Yeah, and great job by the Trojans with the block out there as well. Had great seals. And again, if you're Keller, you got to get downhill. You look at this gap to the left. Don't like that shot, even if he makes it, but you can get that at any time on possession. You got to make your guys defend and get to the basket.
He had no legs in that shot, did he? I mean, he just kind of flat-footed when he shot it.
And pulled up just really quick. There's really no offense there. You never made the defender guard you, and it's what the defense wants. They want quick shots.
So Covington a chance again to get that lead back to double digits right here as we're almost halfway through the fourth quarter. Here's a shot from the wing, good, and that'll be Bacon with his third 3 of the ball game.
Yeah, and this thing, Troy, is that they have 4 or 5 guys that can hit them pretty consistently out. So it's not like they can key up on 1 or 2 guys. You got to honor all these Warriors as you get a nice little steal here.
9 turnovers, and the second time that Laughlin has gotten a steal and scored at the other end. He has 9.
Yeah, leads now up to 13 under 4 to go. Your opportunities and your windows now are getting very, very slim and marginal at this point.
And that shot is off the mark again by Keller. He has shot 2 from beyond 3-point range, and he's come up empty both times. A drive down the lane, good. There's Andrew Crane.
Yeah, his first basket of the second half as it gets up to 15, and Coach Morgan's seen enough He's calling his timeout. Coach Flatt and the Covenant Warrior and the Warrior family certainly pleased with what they're seeing here tonight.
So with a timeout on the floor, I believe it's going to be a full timeout. It is. Covenant leads it 52-37.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by Jack's Donuts. Jack's has great donuts made and served fresh every day, and they have great tasting coffee. Stop by Jack's at 9105 East 56th Street or Jack's in your neighborhood. Jack's Donuts, the official donut of IndianaSRN. I've said it before, they need to bring some to us to these games.
I was getting ready to say.
Here's a three. That's Stein, yeah. Stein has 10. Still down by 12.
We got to talk to Jerry or Keith or, get it, something in there. Donuts, pizza.
Be a good, good halftime something. Snack. Something to take home.
Donuts might be a little bit more dangerous, though. Especially if they're longs.
That's true.
Only thing, though, is this late at night, you can't get them warm.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we can start having them IHSAA scheduling some games in the mornings so we can have long donuts at the game, right? Yeah, while we're talking about the IHSAA, too, certainly want to just give them a shout-out as it got a nice little sideline entry pass here.
Well, he missed it. Able to get the offensive rebound. Off-balance shot there by Bacon is missed, and they get it again. That's just hustle. Nice entry, left hand, and this time Crane will finish it.
He's now at 11 for the game. Had a really nice night. Done a lot of the intangibles. Taken 2 charges. Have done some really great things on the glass in terms of rebounding, and has done even a better job of really finding guys tonight with some his passing game.
Bacon is now the 3rd different player in double figures for Covenant Christians. That shot's off the mark, and high to get the rebound. Wyatt Wash. Here come the Warriors back the other way, and that's only their 5th turnover.
Well, he knew what he wanted to do with the ball. The problem was his Paxton Bacon didn't quite think he was going to be getting the pass, as it was a no-look one.
He was going down there to rebound that 3 if it missed. So as we come up on the 2-minute mark, 14-point lead. Covington's going to have to hurry as they force up a shot right there as Stein missed it badly. Back the other way as they run the floor layup good. I'll tell you what, Laughlin's made a killing just running the floor.
Well, when you get behind like this, it's natural for kids to want to start looking at, hey, 3, and just shooting these. But that's what we like to see. Good teams will shoot in the low to mid 30s. Get downhill. Now, not to say that we don't shoot the threes, but if they're coming off penetration and kicks, sure. But just to pull up a 3 when guys are in your face, play the percentages, have them really guessing whether you're attacking the basket and shooting the 3 as opposed to just pulling up while you're defended or contested. It's really kind of a dead end, and we see that here with just the take that we had there with Gerling getting downhill. And you can get them. I think a lot of times these kids forget there's other ways to get 3-point plays.
Yeah.
It's not just the beyond the arc, but it's just what we saw there with Dane getting downhill and being at the charity stripe here.
By the way, a couple of changes now as we see Austin Humbert come in, a 6'6" senior now for Covenant Christian, as Gerling able to finish out the 3-point play, the lead at 13.
How is that when you're Coach Flat and you can bring a 6'5", 6'6" kid off the bench with a couple minutes to go? So,
and he's going to handle the basketball, and he gets fouled in the backcourt. I think it might have been Stein. It was either Stein or Rourke's. Now they're going to say Stein. So minute 37 remaining. Looks like Sam War is in as well. He is 6'5". And there's another foul. And that is Joe Midla. He is in the ball game, only a sophomore. So now they're trying to foul and save a little bit of time right here. Maybe too little too late. Another quick foul down in the corner. Looks like this is going to be against 21 Rourke's. So number 3 on Rourke's. So right now looks like Covington Christian will move to 2-1. Covington will fall to 3-2. Don't you have Covington again here tomorrow?
Tomorrow night. They'll be back home against Asina.
That'll be a big matchup. Still at 13. 3 the other way is going to be missed by Stein. In the backcourt, the foul called, and the Covenant fans wanted a jump ball call, but the official said it was a foul instead. Kurt Slider in the ball game. So here is Joe Midla. We are now in the bonus.
He's looking to crack the scoring column himself as well. It's been a shared piece of as the Warriors have had, I think, about 7 that's been in the scoring column tonight.
Midla again, just a sophomore, hits that one off the back of the iron. Covington will quickly get it down the floor, and a three-pointer by Stein.
And that's his third 3 of the night. He now has 13 as well. This is where you want to keep the ball movement. As much as Covington wants to foul, and that's obviously Coach Flat doesn't want in terms of unforced turnover, and it looks like he's emptying the bench right away.
Well, it's down to 10, and he's seen enough.
He's like, hey, I gave you an opportunity, but here comes the horses again.
Yep.
No pun intended to the Trojans, by the way.
Under a minute remaining. Here's a 3 from the top, missed. Offensive rebound. Slider in the ball game, able to get it around the perimeter. Stein again, missed it. And the rebound by Crane, and a foul in the backcourt. They will get Keller, and that's it for Keller tonight. 8 points. He averaged over 19 coming into the ball game.
Well, I think, you got to. That's one thing that I'm sure Coach Flat will talk about in the locker room is just whenever you can neutralize, the scoring of your leading scorer at that, really sets well. When you hold him to less than 50% of that, that's even better. So you put yourself in a position where you're making another player of your opponents do something that they're not normally used to doing, and that is pick up the slack. And so, great job on their part.
We have a jump ball here as Tony Flat able to get a hand in there against Ferguson. By the way, that missed free throw, it hadn't really happened much at all tonight up until the fourth quarter here for Covenant. They probably could have sealed this thing out if they would hit the front end of their 1-and-1s. Drive down the lane, layup good. Another 2 on the board for Wyatt Wash. He has 17. 3 back the other way, another miss. No need to foul here as you see Laughlin. And they're going to let it run out. And how about Covenant? Nice home win. This thing was close up until the third quarter when Covenant outscored Covington 16-7. And again, the other big story, Duncan Keller held to just 8 points here tonight. Ferguson finished with 14 points, 13 points by Stein. He had 2 points by Rourke's, 9 points by Gerling, And I believe that rounded out the scoring tonight for Covington. On the other side, Tony Flatt had 3. You had 17 by Wyatt Wash, 2 points by Niemeyer tonight, 11 points on the board by Laughlin, 11 by Crane, and 11 by Bacon, 3 points by Farrell. And Coach, that kind of does it right there. I think defensively you have to give Covenant a lot of credit to hold this team down the way they did, and again holding Covenant's leading score to 8 points.
No, I think without question. They neutralized, as we just talked about, their leading scorer. But I think the thing that they did well also, I think the key to them was just how they shared the ball.
Yeah.
Had balanced scoring, had 4 guys in double figures. And anytime you can do that to where you're shooting the ball well from the perimeter, you're sharing it, you really make your opponent be in a position where they have to be more mindful of all the guys on the floor.
Well, that's going to do it. Thanks to the entire crew for being with us here tonight. Another great job. Your final score, 56-48 Covenant with a win. Thanks for being with us here on Indiana SRN.